What a boring way for this to end. No more, huh? That was no fun at all.
Everyone's a critic. Why doubt yourself if others already will? While it's important never to overestimate your abilities, the same goes for underestimating them. Persistent self-doubt can lead to things such as anxiety, depression, emotional stability, and worst of all, difficulty making decisions. If you're constantly afraid of what could go wrong, you'll never know what could go right. Of course, everyone knows this already, so how do we move forward? First, by practicing self-love and compassion. While it's great to hold yourself accountable and reflect on the past, don't beat yourself up unnecessarily. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Making mistakes is okay. It is partially how we grow. What is not okay though is purposely self-sabotaging yourself and refusing to try your best. Many people do this so that the disappointment of failure doesn't hit quite as hard. All this does, however, is give you a convenient excuse and a way out. Sure, it may be easier in a moment to say, oh, I failed, I'm not surprised, I didn't try my best. But did you fail because you weren't good enough, or did you fail just because you didn't try your best? Regardless of the outcome, kind to yourself, give it your all. Otherwise, you're doing yourself a disservice. Don't let a moment of self-doubt lead to a lifetime of regret. Remember your past achievements and don't compare yourself to others. Reflect on those moments when you were unsure of how things would turn out, but then remember when they worked out in the end. Or maybe it was the opposite for you. Just because you felt a lot in the past doesn't mean you can't succeed in the future. Key here is to focus on your own path and control what you can. Feeling of not being good enough is indeed more common than you think. Being afraid of not being on the same level of those around you can be a paralyzing feeling. Despite that, something to keep in mind is that everyone's journey and ideas of success are different. Regardless of where you are, do your best to keep moving forward. Furthermore, be mindful of your thinking. It's very easy to fall into a downward spiral with your thoughts when things around you aren't going so well. Or maybe things are going great. A little too great. Sometimes though, these thoughts can persist and really take us into a deep and dark place. The more common they are, the harder it becomes to recognize that they are negative. They could be anything from the thoughts saying we're not worthy of the success we're experiencing, we'll never be successful, and of course, many are much, much worse. Challenge these thoughts. Are they really true? Are you just thinking that because you're in a bad spot right now? Beating yourself up at a time like that is like a boxer punching himself when he's trying to stand up for a 10 count. While holding your head up high, however, thinking positively and looking on the bright side is great and all, but sometimes your inner demons might just drag you back down and jump you. You might need some backup. Surround yourself with positive people, those that will believe in you, know what you're capable of. They can remind us how talented and resilient we are when we're just not feeling the same way about ourselves. Equally, it's just as important to have that same kind of validation in the heart from within. If you exclusively rely on others to bring you up, it won't take much for someone else to come along and tear you down. Constantly needing reassurance from others won't help you if you aren't confident in your own abilities. One way to mitigate this is by identifying your strengths, weaknesses, and practicing self-reliance and acceptance. Assess your values. What gets you going?
It just hit me. I don't know what I'm fighting for anymore.
What means the most to you? Even if you're unsure of what these things are, it helps to think about them. Maybe something as simple as helping others, being a good person, outliving your haters, and just contributing something useful to society. Leaving something behind before your time on Earth is up. Those kinds of things. When you recognize your values and what they truly mean, the criticism from others falls by the wayside. When you make mistakes, it doesn't feel quite as bothersome. Another thing that might help is keeping a journal, which can go a long way as well. Journaling can indeed be a therapeutic way of looking at your problems. Once your concerns and issues are all written down on a sheet of paper, it can become less of this abstract, scary thing and a little less intimidating to think of and look at. Above all else though, if you do suffer from crippling self-doubt, please seek professional help. All I can offer are tips, and unfortunately, I'm not a professional quite yet. Just someone who cares. If you notice a friend that may be struggling, give them a hand. If you're the one struggling, reach out for help. I sincerely hope that this does indeed help you guys out there though. I hope you all have a wonderful day and or night. You're all wonderful people.